record, go. What's going on, guys? Quasi here for Quasi Media, Quasi Animations. We are about to do a how do I put this? We're going to do a visibility. I'm going to show you how to swap out visibility on an object or objects. So again, we're going to start with plane. Boom, I'll bump it up to 30. And we're going to go all transforms. Okay, so I'm going to take a cube and I'm going to bring this cube in. No, matter of fact, I'm not going to use a cube, I'm going to use a cylinder. All right, so I'm going to bring that cylinder up to the top a little bit. I'm going to make an adjustment to it. So bring it down a little bit, and then I'm going to click the plane, go to modifiers, and I'm going to Boolean, right? I'm going to click fast, use the dropper, and click the sphere. Now, this is the thing. I'm going to type union, and I'm going to type union, not difference. Why I'm not going to type difference is because I want the center part to stay there, and then I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so now I'm going to click the and get rid of it. So now they're one piece. Now you're going to see part of the cylinder still there. I'm going to take that and I'm going to absolutely just delete the parts around it by clicking face and then alt shifting and clicking all the faces around, and then I'm just going to delete faces. Okay, so there should be a part down below where the bottom part of the sphere was. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Y and I'm going to lift that part up. Okay, so and what I'm doing is I'm going to lift it up to that point to where everything is even. Okay, so this way, if you got geometry on it, it stays the same. Now understand, this is one way to do it. There's other ways to do it also, but this is just an easier way to cut that fragment out. So when I go back, you see it's all one piece, right? Now, of course, if we look at this very like in wireframe view, you can see that where it's been cut. Okay, so go back to solid view. I'm gonna go back in here because I feel like this is not dead on. And I'm going to go back to wire view. Let's see how far it goes. All right, so I want to sync it, and boom. All right, so now for that little piece, I'm going to expand it a little bit because again, we're going to deal with visibility. All right, go back to solid view and come out. So now it should be one solid piece. We can't even, you could see it to a point that piece is missing, but if you have your geometry a certain way, you're not going to notice that. Now we'll bring back the cylinder. Okay, now I'm going to use the cylinder for something particular. So I'm gonna flatten it down. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to isolate it by hitting the question mark and or a / key. This bottom portion I'm going to drag down, and then I'm going to expand. I'm just going to expand it a little bit. I'm going to add a loop cut, bring it down some, and I'm going to expand this part. So, all right. Okay. So I'm going to grab this top part, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to extrude it up, and then I'm going to expand it a little bit. I'm going to grab this middle part, and I'm going to expand it a little bit more. I'm gonna add a couple of loop cuts in there. All right. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm basically going to create a hold on, give me a second, because I'm having to create more loops because I need another loop here. All right, so I can expand this out some, so I can create a bevel. All right, so I hate when it does that. Go up. Now create the bevel. There we go. Select that. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this center part out, get rid of that, go back to vert view. I'm probably going to get rid of these verts also because I got an idea. So just try to create something that's going to be like a torn ground. And again, I'm going to just use primitive shapes, so it's not going to be like any particular thing. All right, I'm just going to smooth it out. All right, so bring back the thing. So now the reason why I'm doing that is because again, when we go back to this here, we know for a fact underneath that is that space that has been torn out because of the Boolean, right? Okay, I think I'm gonna make it dead on even this time. It shouldn't be off this time. Yes, nope, it's still off. Okay, let me go down a bit. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, so I'm gonna make this just as small and try to get them almost even with each other. So I gotta come back here just to see. Okay, yeah. So I want this to be a little bit underneath that. I put the wrong one. Yeah, there we go. It's almost there, just a little bit. Okay. So now this cylinder is going to play the role of torn ground. Okay, so it's supposed to be like, you know, busted up and all of that. Okay, and that's what the point of this is. All right. Okay. So now, got the wrong thing selected. All right. Now bring it down a little bit more because I want it to go down. It's got to be like a cavernous thing. Grab this top part. I feel like this top part's not on point. Yeah. Okay, let me expand it a little bit. Bring it down a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to, in order to show that, I'm going to my animation tab, and I'm going to, because I want to be able to see it. So in my action editor, I'm going to dope sheet because it's easier to see those things in the dope sheet. So I'm going to the plane, and I know that this one particular part of the plane by itself is the part I want to disappear. So what I'm going to do is I'm separate by selection, come back out, and then I'm going to undo it. Now I'm going to remove the cylinder so we can see that these two parts are now going to look a little bit different from each other. All right. So if I push it down, you're going to be able to tell definitely that they are offset from each other. Okay. All right. Now, again, if your geometry, because I advise, if you're going to put some sort of texture or material on this, put it on there ahead of time before you do the Boolean. Do not adjust the UV on it at all, or the placement or the location of the material, because you'll mess it up. All right, so we know that this is the part that we want. This is the part that needs to go visible, invisible. So we're going to go to the object properties. Okay, I'm going to go down to visibility, and I'm going to keyframe for the viewport by hitting I and the render by hitting I. Okay, so automatically when you look over here in the lower hand side, it'll show disabled in viewports and disabled in renders. Thing is, right now it's visible. Okay, so let's say we wanted to disappear at frame 60. Okay, so what I'll do is on frame 50, I'll have it set. I'm sorry, a frame, because we know the impact is going to be fast. So on frame 59, I have it set, and then if you have your auto keying on, just hit the select button and it will remove it instantly from the bottom. So you see that now there's a hole there. It will instantly get rid of it in the viewport. But it's the thing now, it also disappears over, you'll think that your stuff is not there because it disappears in the NLA and in the dope sheet and in the action editor. But once you go back to 59, it pops back up. And then as soon as you hit it, then that animation's there. Okay. If I click it, I can actually push that animation down. And when I push it down, now it'll be there. But when I go back, now the NLA will still be there, but it'll disappear, if that makes sense. Like, it's still there, it just disappears. So don't get freaked out about it. All right, so now let's go to the cylinder, because we know we want the cylinder there. All right, so now let me make the plane ground, so this way I'm not confusing the two. Okay, so the cylinder is going to be our busted area. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to disable. I'm on the 60. I'm going to enable by hitting I, the viewport, and then on 59, I'm going to disable it because we know we don't need it. Boom. So now when it pops up, that hole that you're supposed to have from that crater is there, because guess what's there in its place? The crater you created. But it's animated to have viewport on and off. Okay, so boom, so let's say you have a beam going or whatever, and let's say I'll create something like that real fast. All right, so let's add a new collection so we don't confuse anything. Okay, so let's add a sphere. Bring the, let's see, I'll do it like this. I'll put it like right here and bring it up. All right, so the sphere's there, and then on the sphere, I'll create, put a circle on it. All right, so on that circle, I'll aim that circle towards the theme. All right, so put it up above, and you rotate like this. Okay, so now the circle's aimed towards that a little bit. Not really, because now I need to kind of get it straight. Okay. All right. Okay, so now I'll go into edit mode on that. Hit 1, extrude. All right, extrude on the X. So now we know we're gonna blast down, right? All right, so that's extruded. That's ready to rock. Now, this is the thing. So I'm gonna come into, because this is gonna be visible anyway. So it's ready to set. It's ready, set, go. So I already know that this is the end result, right? That's the end result. So I'm gonna come over here to my scale and just put it in play. All right, so back here, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll scale it down on the Z. All right, and then hit it again. So now they boom. So okay, it's done that. You go 100 frames, leave it, save it there. 1, 2, and then go 0 on it. I'm gonna go 1, 2 on the circle also. I mean the sphere, and then I'm gonna go to 0. All right, so that's it. So now when we come back, boom, that thing is there. So you doing your thing, da 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 da, boom. Whoop, now there's a hole there. I didn't have to worry about the hole because at 60 the hole was created. Now this is another thing. Okay, let me expand it a little bit. It's on the Z or the Y. That's the X. All right, cool. Okay, so yeah, so now it's like you know, and then it's visible. So let's add a camera just for the point of showing you from the camera standpoint. I'm gonna put it in the regular old camera and push it in a little bit. View, lock, and then I'm going to switch my camera to a Blackmagic Production 4K, and then I'm gonna go backward a little bit. All right, so clearly this thing is about to do its thug thizzle. I'm gonna go back in animation because I just want to add some animation to it, and then come in here with it. Okay, and I'm gonna have it rotate on 90. Because it's not locked. Let me lock it. Sorry, lock it real quick. Here we go. Yeah. Boom. And then now I'll freeze it out probably right here a little. Push over this bit a little bit. And at 150, we'll go over to our crater. Yeah, at 150 we'll go to our crater. Zoom in on the crater. 180. I'll push it back to 180. All right. Start back at 0 and go. And there's the crater. Okay, so it's just one of those things where you just kind of have to sit down and say to yourself, okay, how do I want this to look or appear in scene? And that's the end result. So if I turn all this stuff off, there you go. And if I remove the cylinder, which is now officially on the scene, and I just hide it, you see the hole where the Boolean cut was made. So there you go. Hope they help somebody. If you need a better explanation, jump into the comments. Don't forget, you can sub, you can like, and of course you can share. Nonetheless, number love. Holler at you guys later.